Hi, I'm Jeff Altman, the Big Game Hunter, and I want to talk with you today. Well, I got a letter from a viewer, and a tender letter that touched me a lot. And um, I'll simply say that I've done videos about explaining gaps in a person's background, and I just want to read this letter to you. So she writes that she's seen my video about explaining a gap in your resume. And, when all is said and done, she says, my issue with explaining the long gap has led to some issues finding a job. And, her issue is scary to people. So I know I'm going to do a video for employers about this, but the long and the short of it is she had a traumatic brain injury due to a terrorist bombing in Jakarta in 2009, and it took several years for her to heal. So this scares people off. Now, what do you do when you've had a medical issue that caused the gap? I think it really starts with the reach out to the employer. Now, if you're responding to an ad, the simplest way to do it is in your cover email. That is, that note to which your email is attached that you're sending to an employer, and say, it's obvious I have a gap in my background. And the fact of the matter is I had a medical injury that I've healed from. It's taken some time, but I'm fine now, and it's time for me to return to work. It's really that simple. Now, you may get to the personal interview, and I'll simply say that I'm an ex-New Yorker, and I met many people who experienced post-traumatic stress disorder after the World Trade Center was attacked. I didn't deal with many people in Washington. I assume the same issues occurred with people who were affected by the plane flying into the Pentagon. So I'll simply say that what you have to do, and again, you've heard me talk about in different videos that interviewing is like theater. What you have to do is become sincere and do your own version of that, and looking them square in the eye and talking about not every detail of what happened to you, but just simply say, in this case, I was caught up in the bombing in Jakarta. It took a long time to recover from that. I'm completely fine now, and it's time for me to resume my career. They may say, what happened to you? And I prefer not going into it. I'll simply say that when all is said and done, I had a severe injury that I don't want to rehash. I'll just say I'm completely fine at this point. So again, notice how my tone of voice is very sincere sounding. Now, you're probably not going to be able to return at exactly the same level as you were before. So if you were an executive, the likelihood is you may have to take a staff position. If you were a software developer, well, the technology has changed a lot since then. If you were an administrative role, just get yourself landed again. That's the whole game plan. After you've gone through a medical emergency, is to get back to work in some way or another. And in the course of interviewing, just have your likability factor come through and your sincerity factor. Will this work for every employer? Absolutely not. But the right employer will get it, and they'll give you the chance. Now, again, financially you may have to compromise, positionally you may have to compromise, but so what? It's important for you to get back to work after such a long absence. I'm Jeff Altman. I hope some of you find this helpful. If you did, please share it, leave a comment, click the like button, do something that lets people know it was worthwhile. Then I want to encourage you, go over to thebiggamehunter.us and go explore it. There's a lot of information there that'll help you with your interviewing because you may be rusty at this point. Also want to mention, if we're not connected on LinkedIn, send a connection request at linkedin.com/IN/the-big-game-hunter. And follow my firm, The Big Game Hunter Incorporated. You'll get notices whenever I do new YouTube videos or when a new job opens up. Last thing, I'll simply say that I mentioned that you might be rusty. I have audio products. They're very inexpensive. They'll help you prepare for in-person interviews and phone interviews. Because if If you're not good on the phone interview, you're not going to get the in-person one. If you're not good on the in-person one, others are going to beat you out. You're not going to get a job. When all is said and done, take the time to go through these audios. I'm sure they'll help you. I'm Jeff Altman. Hope you have a great day. Take care.